Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines Natural Disasters, and welcome to Solzbrook. The citizens love their beautiful little havens in the mountains, but getting around isn't easy. The terrain is challenging, but the citizens of Solzbrook love their homes and wish for more public transportation options for their lovely city. Make sure not to run out of money, and that you always have citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, we are playing one of the scenarios available in the Natural Disasters expansion for Cities Skylines. This is the first scenario that you will stumble across, and the goal here is quite simple. We need to transport 500,000 people in total using public transport. We don't win if we play for 350 weeks, if we have a population under 1, or if we run out of money. So we're gonna want to make sure that we get people on the buses and that we get them moving. The problem, of course, is that we don't yet have the buses. We need 1,700 people to do that, and that's gonna be quite simple. Basically, I'm gonna de-zone all of that commercial, and I'm gonna move it to there. And then I'm gonna zone some residential in that little space. And I'm also going to zone it just around all these spaces as well, so that we can get a bunch of people moving into Solzbrook. And we'll do a little bit of zoning over this way, and we could do a little bit up this way as well, just to get those people in, get them living there, and to increase that population, which is obviously going to be very, very important for this challenge. We'll go ahead and put some zoning in there too, and maybe a little bit just over that way as well. And hopefully, if everything goes to plan, the population's gonna increase quite nicely. It's already at 1,400 and climbing. It's about to hit 1,500 as well, and as soon as it does, we can get ourselves some buses. And we go straight for that goal. I am gonna do everything I can to achieve that goal. I can, if I want to, go ahead and buy some new tiles here, but I'm not entirely sure if that's a thing I need to do. I don't actually know how these scenarios work. I don't know if I need to expand Solzbrook, which I feel like I probably do, considering it is very, very small. So we'll see what happens. I guess I'll buy that tile over there, and we'll see if that's maybe a way to do things. We are about to hit 1,600 population, which is great stuff. Money is alright. And we do have a little bit of demand for industrial zoning. Obviously, we don't have offices yet, so we might want to look into getting some of that, which I think I will do, considering people are going to need some jobs. So we'll get a little bit of industrial zoning just there, and that's on fire. Do we have fire coverage? We do. Just over here, there is a fire department. And I'm sort of noticing that, I mean, it's interesting looking at fire coverage, or the fire hazard, I should say, and seeing that the game has changed it, so the fire hazard amongst trees is now a thing. Obviously, you can have forest fires and natural disasters. It's interesting seeing that that's not so much a thing amongst these trees around here. Now, we are about to hit that very important 1,700 people for the population. It's going so slowly. Come on, there we go. So we're in Boomtown. We've unlocked buses and public transport, and if I'm not mistaken, the game also gave me $30,000 or 30,000 money, I should say, for that particular thing. Does it include it in here? I don't think it did, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and get ourselves an all-important bus depot, and then set up a bus line that's going to run the whole way around this area. So we'll get a bus that goes to there and to there, and we'll get a bus that comes in to, I'm gonna say there, and I'm gonna say there, and across the street as well, then around that way, stopping over that way, and stopping just up there as well. Then it's gonna come across the bridge, it's gonna go in this way, and it's gonna go up to there, and right the way back over to this little area here. It's going to connect, and it's going to go to there. And hopefully, we are going to see a fair few people use that. We are running into some problems with water, so Let's go ahead and extend this out just a little bit. There we go, so that should solve the water problems. We have our buses heading out. I'm curious to see just how many buses... Ah, we're having electricity problems as well. We can deal with that in a moment. I'm curious to see how many buses... 10 vehicles on that line. Okie dokie. Well, here's what we're going to need to do. We are going to need to... What is this? Sewage is backing up as well. We're having all sorts of problems here. We are going to need to look into electricity, since we do have a bit of a deficit. What are we currently using to power this place? That is a coal power plant, which is costing me 560 per week. I could swap that out. Actually, no, I couldn't. I could get another one, but I can't really afford it, is the problem. So I don't know if that's the thing I want to do. I guess I could get one of these. It's a bit cheaper. It's more expensive up front, obviously, but it is a bit cheaper in the long run. So maybe I'll go ahead and throw a wind turbine just there. And perhaps another one just up there. And hopefully that'll be enough to add some power to all of Salzbruck. That's currently the dream, anyway. We are having some sewage problems as well. I should probably look into that. There are some new buildings in natural disasters. I don't believe I showed these off in my overview video. But you do have things like the tank reservoir, which is a water reservoir used to basically store any excess water. And then if we have the need for it, this thing will go ahead and pump water out rather than having to buy a bunch of these. But we are going to need some sewage output, which I'm going to want to throw just over here. So we'll throw that there. We'll connect it up with a pipe, and hopefully that's going to solve all of our problems. Now, I would like a little look here. We have 15 people. We're 6 weeks into our 350 weeks, and we're up to 17 people using public transport, which is hopefully going to be enough. Hopefully we can put a good dent in that number. But I suppose we'll see. We do have... Oh, wow. The meteor of size 8.6 is above... What? Oh, it's striking over there. Okay. So that's not actually... Oh. I was going to say that's not actually going to cause problems, but that could cause... That is going to cause problems. That is legitimately going to set the forest on fire. Do I get a say in, how am I gonna put that out? How do I put that out? Wow, okay, how expensive is this? Quite, well, actually, it's not really. I need another one of these. I need to be able to put these fires out, so, let's throw that in there and hope for the best. Oh, wow, that was really unexpected. I didn't think the game would be like, hey, here's a meteor right away. But there you go. There you go. That was unexpected. 194 people. Wow. That could have been disastrous if I expanded too much there. I am noticing this is a relatively flat area over here that I could expand into a little bit. I am also really worried about this forest fire. I'm not really sure what to do about it. But what I will say is expanding like this is probably a good idea. And getting a few more roads in here. So we can increase that ever-important population. Also, possibly getting rid of these power lines, because I don't really think we need them to run the way they are running there. So bringing that over to here and doing all of that stuff seems like a pretty good idea. And we can also go ahead and expand the industrial zone there as well, with a little bit more commercial in there, and in there, then residential for the rest of it, just like so. And we'll bring the power lines over from there to there, and I'll use my usual method of connecting all this stuff up, where you just sort of follow the zoning in the roads to get power lines that nicely follow the road. So there you go. Those are looking pretty decent. We're going to have some good expansion into this area. In fact, let me get rid of that road because I don't think it's necessary. Which gives us that space like so. And it looks like the forest fire is... It's wearing a bit thin, so I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with it. I'm definitely worried, but I think we'll be okay. I mean, what I could very well do is use some of the emergency bunkers. We do have the small ones. They are expensive to place, but not that expensive to run, and this can hold 1,000 people. So if we put one there, that'll give us complete coverage for this area. If we put one there, it's the same story, and same story. So maybe we do use some of the emergency bunkers to, I guess, hope for the best. I mean, I'm not really sure how to react to the game immediately throwing a meteor at innocent little Salzbrook. Or I'm gonna start calling it Salzbrook, because I have a feeling that's probably how you would pronounce the name of this. So we'll go with Salzbrook, since, you know, kind of makes sense. But yeah, I was not expecting that. I really wasn't. How are we looking in terms of numbers here? Yeah, not enough. Not enough in the slightest. What are we looking at in terms of budget? Not as high as I'd like it to be. I'm going to knock it up to 10%, so I can bring in a little bit more money, which is going to be very important. Some buildings here are on fire, but my fire department seem to be dealing with it quite nicely, which is beautiful, beautiful stuff. I guess we should go ahead and expand a little bit. We do have some commercial demand. I also haven't expanded the water grid over here, so expanding that out that way and going down like that seems like a good idea. And possibly expanding over this way as well. There we go. Now we have this little space here. I think, well, it's a bit awkward to build in there. Let's see if we can maybe build off of this. There is a nice amount of relatively flat land that we could expand from. So if I go ahead and expand a road off this way and over like this, that gives me a little square in here. I can do this to get more zoning in there. And I can sort of just keep expanding this way to get more houses and also to get a little bit more in the way of industrial zoning, which is certainly a thing I'd like to do. Let's see if we can just expand our industry out this way to meet that need, and then keep our housing sort of separate from the industry. That's a very important thing for me. So let's get some commercial in there. Get some housing in there, and I think get some commercial the whole way across there, with a little bit of industry up that way, and a whole bunch of industry just in there. Although it is going to be on that road, I think that'll be okay. I don't think there's going to be too much of it, so I think we'll manage. We are also going to want to get some commercial through there, and then industry just the whole way along there like that. So hopefully that's going to be good. Hopefully that's going to do some good stuff. Obviously going to need to expand that water grid just slightly, which should be easy enough. There we go. And it's building immediately. It is building immediately, which means I'm probably going to want to look into expanding my bus grid is going to need a bit of expansion. So let's move that stop up to there and move that stop up to there. And move that stop to there, I think. And then move this stop to sort of that spot. So that takes it through a little bit, which is good. That's exactly what I want it to do. What I'm also thinking I might do is set up a little bus loop for that area. So we can have some buses that sort of go from there to there. Sort of going across the road. Over this way a little bit, along that road a little, oh, not that way, along that road a little bit, into here, then down to there, down to that little spot, down to there, and can share a stop there and link back there. And hopefully that'll get more people interested in the buses. Let's go ahead and manage those lines as well, so I can change the colors ever so slightly, so I can just tell them apart nicely. So this one's going to be more of a green color. And the original is going to be blue. There we go. 2 bus lines going around there. Having some water problems. Oh, bother. We could look into one of these. I can't afford it as well, so I think I will. Might as well just throw another pump down that way. And extend the pipe across. There we go. So that should solve all of the water problems. We're going to get a nice population boost. We're going to get some buses moving people around that area. And we are also having more electricity problems. I think it's time that we got another power plant. So let's just throw that in there. And that should solve pretty much all of the electricity problems that we're having. So there you go. Population's growing real nicely. The number of people using the buses is up to nearly 1,000. So we are 1/500th of the way there. It's definitely going to take a while. I'm not convinced this is going to be a success. 69 people per week. That's nothing. That is nothing. No one's using my buses. No one's using my buses to get around this area either, which is kind of scary. That's definitely not good. A couple of people waiting there for a green bus, which is kind of cool. A couple of people waiting there. A couple of people waiting there. I guess it's filling up slightly. I might up my budget for buses so I can get more of them, so people might be more inclined to use them. So if we go to buses and say, there's more budget, we should see more buses, which is hopefully gonna incentivize traveling by bus. I mean, there's a couple people waiting there, no one really waiting there. We are up to what was that, 86 people per week? Yeah, that's alright. It's better. That's not alright. Let's get a taxi depot. Let's get a taxi depot and see if that's actually going to be any use. I'm not entirely sure if it will be. I don't know if taxi depots are actually all that useful in terms of public transportation, but we'll see. We have that one there. We'll get a little taxi stand just there at that corner. And we'll get one. Oh, we can get a bunch in here. We'll get 2 there. And we'll get 2 at the end there. And we'll get 2 in the middle there. Because they're kind of decorative, so I might as well. We can get 1 just in there really nicely. We can get 1 just... No, we can't get 1. We can get 1 there. Which is alright. And we can get 1 there as well. Alright, this could be interesting. So we have some taxi stands. I don't know if they're any use. But I mean, 3 of 25 taxis are being used, so there you go. We do also have some big residential demand. We have a decent income as well, so let's go ahead and see if we can... let's expand this area just a little bit. We have a little bit of space here to play with. So we'll expand out like this. And we'll expand sort of like that a little bit. And we'll bring this over like that too. So that area is expanded real nicely. We'll get some houses in all of that space. Obviously not going down to the bridge because that would be a little bit silly. But we'll get a few more houses just around there. Maybe not there because that's the taxi stand, but we'll get 1 there. I'm actually just going to focus on housing, I think. I feel like housing really is where it's at for this area. Except for those little bits at the end there. We can get some shops in there too. So there we go. That should be a pretty good expansion for that little space. It's immediately growing, which is good to see. Number of people using buses is up to 152 per week, so we've more than doubled it. And we're looking at 2,685 people. So we're getting there. We are like almost 3/500ths of the way there. 3/500ths of the way there. Oh, I'm excited for this to happen. We seem to be running into some garbage problems, so I should probably look into getting another garbage dump, since the coverage isn't so great. I don't really like using landfills, but they are my only option. Fortunately, I was going to say I could throw one in there, but I actually can't. Throwing one there. Oh, we're a busy town, apparently. Alright. Alright, I got a bunch of new stuff, which is pretty cool. Probably not going to use any of it, but that's not so bad. We did get the fire helicopter depot, which is super important because it means that if we have forest fires, we can deal with them. The tsunami warning buoy is useful. I don't know if it's going to be useful in this scenario. The pumping service is also useful because it will basically what happens is if your city floods, trucks will be sent out to go as close to the water as they can. They'll suck up a bunch of it and take it back to the pumping station. And the weather radar is going to be useful for looking out for thunderstorms. But I don't know if I'm going to have to ever deal with thunderstorms, so I'm going to assume that I don't. And I'm also going to slightly hope that I don't. But there's obviously no guarantees, so we'll see what happens. We might get a thunderstorm, we might not. Who knows? Up to 190 people using the buses. How many people are using the, how many people are using the green one? Not really that many. I do sort of wonder if that's maybe just down to the fact that there's a lot of buses on that line. But I'm also slightly concerned that it might just be the fact that people don't want to use it. I think what I will do though is I will create a new line that basically goes in the opposite direction of the original blue one. Now obviously it can't quite do that perfectly, so that's a problem. I guess what I'll do is I'll have it sort of double up there and then kind of loop back across. So it's a bit of an awkward setup there because of those one-way roads, but maybe if I have one that kind of doubles back and doesn't just go in one direction, maybe I'll have a bit of luck. Maybe more people will use it. No guarantees, but we can certainly find out. We'll get that bus. What? A meteor of size 10? A meteor of size 10 is about to hit. You what? You what, mate? You serious? Where's that gonna hit? Oh, it's up there. Okay. No, that's not devastating at all. That wouldn't have been devastating at all if it hit us. Wow. Alright, maybe I'm gonna want to put this in here. Just there to deal with any potential fires. It would also be really nice to get a fire helicopter depot, but it's 2,400 per week and 90,000 up front, so no, we're not gonna be getting that. But I'm sort of seeing how this is an introduction. This map was described as like heaven, like paradise. They love it here. I love living in this valley that constantly gets hit by giant meteors. Oh, the sight of the burnt trees is just the highlight of my morning. Oh, I love me the smell of massive fires and rocks from space. There's nothing better. It really tickles my pickle, is what it does. That's the residents of this place. That's what they sound like. Also, is it just me or is it like the lighting changed? I haven't got the day-night cycle on, do I? Let's have a quick look. No, I don't. I could turn it on. I don't know why I would do that, but yeah, we'll leave it on for the time being. Why not? We'll leave the day-night cycle on for a little bit. I mean, as soon as it gets dark, I'm gonna turn it off, just so you know, because I don't like playing this game when it's dark. But, yeah, that's interesting. How are we looking at the moment? Okay, the number's getting there. I don't know if the number's getting there quick enough, but it's getting there. We have 252 people using the buses. I don't know if that many of them are I mean, there's a fair few wanting to go that way, so I guess we're getting there. The demand for industry is up again, so let's see if we can expand this little area, which is having some issues with sewage, but we'll deal with that shortly. We'll bring this road sort of around like this. We'll just have it snake back and forth a little bit up towards the crater, since it might as well. We'll have it sort of connect through there. And in fact, it doesn't necessarily need to connect through. It could just go straight down like that, but we'll not do that. We'll have it sort of do that. We'll have it connect there as well, and have it connect up there. And that can be, I think, a mix of zoning. We can get a little bit of commercial in there, I think. We can get a little bit of residential in there, especially in this area. We'll sort of just keep doing this little square pattern here. It's not the most efficient for zoning, but I kind of like it, so I'm kind of going to use it. Let's just do a little road up there as well. Now, let's see. This is a pretty big expansion for this side of the Salzbrook. Couldn't remember the name there for a minute. Totally forgot the name. Let's run that down to there, so that's going to be a connection through. In fact, let's just upgrade that road, because I imagine that's going to be a busy road. So there we go. The first avenue in Salzbrook. Let's get ourselves some residential zoning in here. People are going to be living by the crater. And then people are going to be shopping by the crater. And then they can shop up that end of the crater. Actually, no, they can't. They can shop in there. No, they can't. Yeah, they can. They can shop. No. Yeah. Yeah, they can they can shop in there. And then they can work in those spaces, except for in there, where I think it might be an idea to look into, well, policing's actually fine. Healthcare, not so much. So I think, I mean, we could get a medical, we can't actually get this. Oh no, we can get this. It's just really expensive. I don't want a medical helicopter depot. I just want a small clinic. So we'll go for the small clinic, and I'll also go for an expansion to my water network, just like so. So all the way around there, up to there, and down through that little middle section as well. There we go. So that connects up all that new stuff, which is currently having some problems with sewage. So we'll go ahead and just dump a load of that into this little beautiful utopian river in the this beautiful Alpine paradise, and we're just imagine that the sound of that. That'd be terrible. We're just spewing out all that gunk. All that fecus just being dumped out into the water there. And I will say it's kind of pretty at night. It is definitely kind of pretty at night. How are we looking for the challenge at the moment? How's it going? Not even at 10,000 people yet. We're 41 weeks in. I don't know if we're actually going to achieve what we need to achieve here. I really, really don't know. But I'm certainly going to try. What I will do is take out those stops, and I want to add I want to move the bus stops up this way. So like that. And then I want to move them over to there. And over to there. Then I want to move them over to there. And over to there. And I think that possibly just helps a little bit. That not so much. That kinda does. Question is, can I get the opposite of that to work? It's weird the way that loops around, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I want to have the best possible coverage in there. This area could use a little bit of an update as well. So let's put that down there. And that there. And I think that just adds a little bit more coverage in there, which is super, super important. 307 people using the buses per week. Obviously, I could look into other methods of transport, but I'm not going to do that because that would be, that would involve thinking, which is something I'm incapable of doing, apparently. All right, so we have some pretty high demand for, well, residential demand is actually climbing there. We are up over 4,000 people, and those trees are still on fire. They aren't doing anything other than being on fire. I feel like I'm going to stare into these long enough that, oh my god, hold on a minute. It's got the northern lights. You can see the northern lights above this map. I don't know if that's a thing on all maps, but that's really pretty. Oh, I'm so glad I turned on the day-night cycle. That's absolutely beautiful. Wow. Okay, that was really unexpected. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna leave it there for today. This, I guess, has been part 1 of scenario number 1. Hopefully we can make it work. I would say things are going okay. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna turn the day-night cycle off again just because I don't really enjoy playing at nighttime. It was really cool seeing the northern lights, but I've seen them now. I don't need to see them a million more times. That was really cool though. That really, really was. Let's hope we can make this scenario a success, but like I said, that is going to be it for today. So thank you kindly for watching. This has been City Skylines Natural Disasters, releasing this November 29th, 2016. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!